Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Howerton. Sorry I was so close up there for a minute. But today I thought we'd do something a little different. I thought we would do a little writing. And one thing I really hope that you have at your house is a little journal that you can write in every day. It can just be a little notebook, or it can just be some pages that you put together. And it can be whatever you and your mom and dad decide would work. But we're going to start writing a little bit, maybe once or twice a week in a little journal if you have it. If not, you might have what Mrs. Howerton has here, which is just paper. And paper is good. That will work too. And you could even, after you do several little stories, you could actually even put them together into a book. And it can kind of be like a little journal. You could even give it to someone that might want to see some of your pictures and your writing. Because remember, when we write, we always want pictures because pictures can tell a story. And I know you know that from all the stories that we've read and from all the things that you've learned this year in school. So we will make pictures for sure. So Mrs. Lyons talked to me a little bit about your writing and how she wants you to do writing to help you as you move on into kindergarten, which is going to be right around the corner, you know. Well, today I decided I wanted to write about something that I have that I wanted to share with you. And I'll show him to you. He's a cute little bunny. You can see he's got long legs, which I think are super cute. Most of the time, bunnies have their legs kind of curled up under them because they're getting ready to hop somewhere. But he's a stuffed animal, so obviously he's a little bit different. You can see his nose is pink, his eyes are black, and he has a purple bow. He has whiskers. Can you see those funny whiskers sticking out? We'll try to draw some whiskers too. So today, I think I want to write about my bunny. And so when we're writing, Mrs. Lyons was telling me some of the ways you get ready to write and some of the things we do as we are writing, how we prepare, how we think about it, and then actually how we do the writing. So the first thing we're going to do is think. We're going to think about what we're going to write today. So today, Mrs. Howerton is going to write about her bunny. Oh, by the way, I did not give you time to go get paper. Why don't you go get some paper and some crayons so that we can do this drawing kind of together. You can choose a bunny or whatever else you want. If you have a stuffed animal that's your favorite, you might want to choose it. But I'm going to model how to do a writing about my little stuffed bunny. Cutie. His name is Fluffy. So hopefully you have your paper and your crayons by now, and we're going to start. So the first thing we're going to do about our writing is to think. So let's think for a minute. Okay, Mrs. Howerton is thinking right now. I think today I'd like to write about my bunny. Okay, so why don't you take a minute and think, and then just say a sentence about what you're going to write. It might be, today I want to write about my little sister. Today I want to write about my mom. Today I want to write about my pet. Whatever you pick, go ahead and think about what you want to write and then say it out loud. Okay, everybody do that right now. Think and then say. Okay, now we've thought about it, and I've thought about mine for sure because I'm going to write about my little bunny, Fluffy. And the next thing we do is plan our work. Plan our work. So in my work, I'm gonna think about a picture that I want with my writing, because remember, pictures can tell a story. So in my picture, I'm gonna have a picture of Fluffy, of course, looking like this, hopefully. And I'm gonna have, I think I'll put something else in the picture that might make him seem a little bit more real. Let's see, what could I put in there? Maybe I'll put a carrot in, because bunnies like carrots, right? They like grass and carrots and other things. And then I might want to put a scene, make it a scene. So I could just draw a bunny floating in the air, or I could make it into a scene or a picture. And let's see, what could I add to my scene? Maybe some grass, maybe some blue sky, maybe the sun up in the corner, maybe, let's see, what else could be in my scene? I suppose that's about enough, because then we have to start thinking about our writing after that. So let's start with our scene, and I'm going to start with black because I like to outline my drawings with black, just because it makes me have a guideline when it's time to start coloring. So I'm going to get my black, and I'm going to set my camera down here so it'll be on the paper. See if I can get it in there just right. Oh, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okie dokie. So now I'm going to start with my black, and I'm going to put my writing down here, so I'll start my picture way up at the top. So I'm going to start with my black, and I'm going to use a marker just because it shows up better on the screen for you. So I'm going to start with my bunny's head, and it looks to me like his head is almost round. So I'm going to make a circle. Okay? And then his body, let's look at his body here. His body is kind of like a little rectangle down to here. So I'm going to or even a triangle, just kind of make his body look like this. And then down here he has his two long legs with his feet attached. So I'm going to give him feet like that. Now this isn't necessarily the way real bunnies look, but this is the way my little bunny looks. And then his arms are going to go out like this. And then what else is missing? What else does the bunny need? Some big ears, doesn't he? So I'm going to give him a big ear here and a big ear here. And then that looks pretty much like his body, right? Does that look good to you? Okay. Now I'm going to see what details I can add using my black. So the things I'm going to do for the black are eyes, because I like to make big eyes on my animals, because I think there's nothing cuter than when your animals look at you with those big eyes. And then down here, I'm going to make his little cheeks. And I'm not going to make his nose black, because do you remember what color his nose is? Let me get him up here so you can see him up close. See his nose? It's very light pink. So let's see if I have some pink here. I did bring some crayons in here. And I do. I have some pink. Now, it might not show up really well, because you remember the other day when we made that egg? Pink doesn't show up really well. But after we color him in, then I think you'll see he shows up pretty well. All right, so now it looks like we're ready to color him. Mrs. Howerton went out in her garage, and I found some broken crayons with no paper. And look how fat they are. They're easy to hold on to. And so for my brown, I'm going to rub on the side of the crayon. Remember how we do that? So let's start up here with his ears. I'm going to make little circles, just rubbing, because he's not dark brown, remember? He's kind of light brown, kind of tan almost. So you see how I'm just coloring him lightly with my side of my crayon. I really like this kind of coloring because it's fast and it does the job. And it's not so dark. Not that I don't like dark colors, because I do. Remember when we made Goldie the fish the other day? She was nice and dark. But for Fluffy, I want him to be kind of light. Okay, there's one leg and there's another leg. And you just be as careful as you can and try to stay in the lines of your little bunny. All right, so there's my bunny. Now let's think about the scene I was talking about. I was talking about a scene of maybe some grass. Let's have him stand on some grass. And I have some green here. Same thing, I found a broken green that's fat. And now I can do two different ways to do the grass. Let's say the grass is going to go along here under his feet. I'm just going to draw a little line. I can do two things. I can either take my crayon normally like this and color up and down like grass, or I can do this and make grass go up and down. So you choose whatever you want. I might just do it's almost like a little scribble. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, maybe even covering his feet a little bit. Up and down, up and down. Does that look like grass to you? It kind of does to me. So there's my grass, okay? I made some grass for him to stand in. Bunnies also like to eat grass, so that's good. And then I said maybe I would make him a carrot because bunnies love to eat carrots. So let's see. Let me draw my carrot. I better use my block again because I want it. Should we put it in his hand? Let's do it. Let's put it in his hand. So here's the top of the carrot up here. And it's going to be a nice, juicy, fat carrot. And then up at the top will be the leaves. So I'll just use green for those. So I'm going to color in my carrot using a bright orange. And again, when you make your picture, it will be a little bit easier to see than mine. So there's my carrot. And what does it need on the top? Remember when you buy carrots at the store, sometimes they have green on the top. It's their leaves and their stems that are up like this. They're like little, almost like little strings. So draw some green on his carrots. That looks like a carrot, doesn't it? And then if I want to, and there's time, I might even take a blue crayon and fill all this in back here as the sky. And again, I have a blue crayon that I can turn on the side, and I can just make blue sky. It's just light blue. And I might even leave some spaces white that could be like a cloud. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a little cloud, and then I'm going to go up here and color some sky. And maybe I'll make another, no, I'll just do the sky. Put some sky down under here. Okay, there we go. And then even if you wanted to, you could make a sun up in the sky, whatever you wanted. But that's my little scene. Let's see how he looks a little bit closer up for you. All right, here he is. There's his carrot. You can barely see the blue sky. It's just nice and soft. But you can see the grass. The grass is pretty cool, huh? Sorry, I'm not very good at holding this for you. But all right, now it's time for writing. Let's think about what we want to say. I've already thought about what I wanted to draw. I think now I want to say something about my bunny. How about this is my bunny? How does that sound for a sentence? This is my bunny. Now this is one of those words that you have to kind of just memorize. You know, we've talked about our special sight words, and this is kind of one of those things. So when I write, sometimes I like to put a line for each word. So let's think about my first sentence. This is my bunny. How many words was that? 4 words. This is my bunny. So I'm going to make 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, and 4 down here. And then at the end of my sentence, what am I going to put? So I know it's the end. A period. This is my bunny. So the word this, like I said, is a word that we have to memorize because it's hard to sound out. So I'm going to, what do you think it starts with? I bet you know that. The. It's like the word the. It starts with a capital because when we start a new sentence, we always use a capital. This, the, is TH. This. And then is, I think you all know how to write is. I, S. And then my, what do you hear at the beginning of my? M, Y. And then bunny. That's kind of a long word, so I gave it a long line. What do you think the word bunny starts with? B, B, U, N, 2 N's, and bunny. Sometimes if you hear E at the end of a word, it is spelled with a Y. So let's read my writing again. This is my bunny. And I think now I just want to tell you one thing about my bunny. I think I'm going to tell you he is brown. He is brown. So let's think about my next sentence. How many words is that going to be? He is brown. 3 words. Okay, let me make some lines. He is, we already used is up here, so we'll know what to put here. And then brown. Okay, so let's use remember, after a period, your next letter has to be what? A capital letter. He. Again, this is a sight word that you might know, but if you don't know it now, you will soon, and you can ask your mom to help you with some of these words. He is, that word we know, right here. And then brown. What do we hear at the beginning of brown? B, b, b. This is how Arden's going to sit for this word because I'm right here. What do you hear? B, b, b. Brr, and then O and W, say ow. Brown, N. Oops, I almost made my period too soon. He is brown. So let's go back and read our whole writing together. Ready? Remember, when you're reading, you touch under each word. This is my bunny. He is brown. Another way that helps us when we're reading is to put a dot under each word. Under each word, you put a dot. And that way, when you're reading it, you can just put your finger on that dot, right? Remember how we do that? This is my bunny. He is brown. So I hope you have fun writing today. I want you to try to make a picture. Think about what you're going to write first. Make a plan. What are you going to draw your picture about? What are you going to write some words about? Then start with your picture. Make your picture. Go with your plan. And then write the words that you plan to say about your picture. Planning is very important when we're writing. Boys and girls, I love it that you are going to be writing, and I want you to save all of your writings in a journal, and maybe next year you could even take them and show your kindergarten teacher. She or he would be very proud of you. All right, we'll do some more again another day. Bye-bye.